everybody. It's Cindy Matalucci, your host of The Pulse and Live with Cindy. Welcome to our show. We've made it through another Friday. We love spending this Friday with you, this 30 minutes of entertainment, bringing you stories, inspirational stories, events, brands, bringing the buzz to you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. We have a great show lined up for you. Before we get started, I have to shout out to my sponsors, Coffee Ambassador, who you know we love. They do coffee delivery right. They've been in San Diego over 50 years, family-run business. We love them. So thank you for keeping us caffeinated, because we do the coffee, then we do the things. So thank you for that. Then I want to thank Windus Fernandez Brincourt from Trilogy Financial Services. She's amazing. She's my financial planner. For all your financial needs, Windus and her team have got you covered. So thank you guys to our sponsors. Okay, you guys, so events are happening, right? Everything's opening. It seems like things are kind of going back to normal. The Padres just came back yesterday. It was their opening day, so we're really excited about that. We're getting invited to a lot of events. Speaking of events, one that we are super excited about, and we're going to as well, is Bags and Baubles, you guys. So this is going to be an amazing event. This is put on by Face Foundation. It's a signature shopping event. It's Sunday, April 24th, and it's presented by Sky Facial Plastic Surgery. It's from 1 to 5 p.m. I'm so excited about this, you guys. It's held at a beautiful home in Rancho Santa Fe. It's going to feature a silent auction of hundreds of handbags, jewelry, accessories, and more, an exclusive VIP experience, champagne, beer, wine, hors d'oeuvres, delicious desserts, an exciting raffle, and then a chance to meet some of their grateful grantees. So next Friday, Stephanie, who is the executive director of Face Foundation, will be on the show and talk more about her amazing organization. But to give you a little background, the proceeds go back to saving the lives of pets in need. And this is so important, you guys. Their organization is a nonprofit. It's fantastic. Basically, they started in 2006 by a group of veterinarians and concerned community members. So it's a nonprofit, like I mentioned. They provide financial grants for animal owners who are unable to afford the cost of their pet's emergency or critical care. We're going to talk a lot about this stuff today, too. So you can go to faceforpets.org for more information. Again, tune in next Friday and get your ticket to Bags and Baubles, because we will be there. It's going to be fabulous. All right. So keeping on the animal and pet subject, I am so thrilled today for my guest today. I've got Natalie Punt, CEO and founder of Mpet, with me.
Hello.
How are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm so glad to have you here today. First of all, everything that you're doing is amazing. So
Thank you.
We cannot wait to talk more about this. And for those of you that don't know, Natalie is the creative founder and CEO of Mpet, a smartphone app for the pet owners to store, manage, and transfer their pets' medical records and health information. It's a lifesaver, and you know this if you have a pet. I just went through something crazy, and we're gonna talk about that today with my pet. But we're gonna get the details on the app and everything a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about your story, because you literally, your background is amazing. How did you get involved in this?
Involved in Mpet?
Well, in the vet.
Oh, as a veterinarian.
Yes.
So I grew up on a small farm outside of Northern California, and so being exposed to all those animals at a young age, I thought that being a veterinarian would be good. But at the same time, I was also very interested in science, and so I started off on a career path to actually become a scientist. Then kind of got to the point where I had to make a decision between a PhD and veterinary school. I applied to both, got into both, and I started thinking about, well, what's going to be the better lifestyle for me? Being an academic researcher in science, or going through and talking to people about their pets all day. So I decided to talk about people about their pets all day.
I love that. And so you started your business, Fidem Veterinary Services, to provide specialty hospitals with relief, right? And then you became licensed in 12 different states and expanded services to provide consultation to pet health startups and veterinary hospitals.
We're actually going on towards 14 states now.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you're traveling a lot.
I do travel quite a bit. I've been United 1K for probably about 4 years in a row now.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's really the biggest highlight of my CV, actually.
I just love that. You're so passionate about what you do. So I want to ask you about the app itself, because how did you get the inspiration for developing this?
So it actually started when I was doing my internship and then migrated into my fellowship. During my fellowship, I was going through and seeing a lot of oncology patients, and we wanted to have some way for them to be able to manage their medical records and also all their lab work too, because oncology patients get a lot of blood work done. So I wanted some way to be able to store all of this, and then also another way to go through to monitor them if they have like any signs of illness, like any vomiting or diarrhea, because cancer patients commonly have those things. That was an idea we had, and then when I got done with my fellowship, I decided to go through and run with it and go through and expand it, include medical records and health information, and also being able to, on the emergency side, be able to create it so in a format so you can go through and transfer it between multiple different veterinarians.
That's amazing. Well, I want to share my story too, because I just went through this, with my dog Isabella. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I know that this is so important because she had to get blood work, there was medications. I had to go back to other vets that I had been to try to pull that information. So I just feel like it's so important. And I mean, I can't wait to download it and use it.
And what you're saying is even like use an understatement too, like going through and being able to call individual veterinarians and requesting that medical records, and at the same time you're repeating yourself over and over and over again, and then making sure it's done right, and then follow up with it too. It's a huge amount of work.
I was trying to find blood work that she had gotten done a few years ago so I could compare it, right? So we could look at it as a helicopter mom that I am. And I had to go and call them. They had to fax me this, and I have all this information. I have 2 folders with like paper. I mean, it's just amazing. So it's a nightmare. So I can't wait to use this app.
And you probably only have 1 copy of all that too, right?
Right.
So what happens,
Yeah.
right? And it's all stored in those manila folders. Hit the easy button, put it on the app.
Well, I'm going to. I cannot wait. So I want to talk about the app itself and kind of what it does. So will you explain to the viewers how it sort of works?
So basically it's, it's on your smartphone. You can download it onto your smartphone, and it has multiple different categories for you to be able to go through and either upload or enter. You can go through and scan the medical records and upload it directly into a specific category. For example, if your pet has surgery, there's going to be a surgical folder for it. And then also if your pet has general wellness, there's that as well. You can also go through and enter your vaccine records too, so you can keep track of overall vaccines. And you don't need to rely upon your veterinarian to send you a reminder for it too. The app will automatically send you a notification for when vaccines are due. Same thing with medications. You can go through and enter all your medications. Many pet owners, I imagine Isabella's on quite a few medications right now, knowing when to give those and when they're going to be redue or due again can be a hassle. So there's also notifications for that on the app too.
So they remind you.
And send you reminders.
Oh my gosh. I know we had like 10 medications.
Oh my goodness gracious.
We're still giving her some, but I know and we had to remember when to give them, how often. One was 12 hours, one was every 24 hours. I mean, it was crazy. So there's also a quality of life journal in here. Can we talk about that?
Sure, of course. And so that's actually was inspiration from my oncology patients too, because I want to make sure my oncology patients are healthy and living their best possible lives for as long as possible. So you want to go through and create basically a daily journal to see how they're doing and make sure we're able to catch any adverse events like any vomiting or diarrhea. So the quality of life journal allows you to go through and track certain things, like we call them clinical signs, and then also how well they're enjoying their life. So clinical signs would be like vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, energy, just making, also you can go through and track like any blood sugars as well. So there's a couple other things in there too. But then also how well is the patient enjoying their life? Like do they enjoy like running after they're chasing a ball or interacting with you? Or do they like treats quite a bit or riding a car? Can they still do those things? And I've rated all those, there's a scale on those, so you can rate them on a scale of 1 being very poorly to 10 doing extremely well. So you see the scale dropping down, you say, well, things are definitely progressing in a not so favorable manner. And so you can say, well, what should we do now?
Wow. And then also I thought something that was interesting, the app is linked to VetSource, right, for ordering medications and diets. How does that work?
So you push a button. You just push the button.
So you basically can order right from there.
Yeah.
Lifesaver. I love that. Okay, and so I want to know how it works. So I'm a user, right? So you're saying do I upload the documents, I scan the documents, or how does that part work?
So you basically use your phone and take a picture of the documents and you save it as a PDF to the app.
Okay. So you scan them, you upload them, and then does your vet have access to the information?
Yes, you can definitely give your vet access to the information. So you can either you can send them a link to it or you can send them PDFs.
Wow, this is amazing. I have so much information now I'm going to be uploading. So where is this available? So if somebody's like, okay, sign me up, where do they find this?
So you can go to the App Store or Google Play, and it's just there. You type in Mpet Health or Mpet and look for pet records or pet medical records, and it should be one of the first things that pop up.
So you can also go to mpethealth.org, and we actually have this information on the website as well. So I want to talk a little bit about the technology of Mpet, right? Because you and I were talking about this earlier. Developed using Steel Kiwi, which is a software and app developer in Kyiv, Ukraine.
They are fantastic. They are some of my most favorite people to work with. They have been incredible to work with the entire way, and I can't say enough good things about them. Like, they have been so professional and so extremely just capable and efficient, and they're just some of the very intelligent, very good business people to work with. One of the highlights of this overall app is not only being able to develop the app, but being able to work with them too. I can't say enough good things about them.
And they're okay, they're safe.
They're safe. Well, they're also Ukrainian, so they say they're safe, but at the same time, there's been a lot of things going down in that area. So, I mean, send them complete support and good wishes, but at the same time too, they say they're safe.
I know there's so much going on. I thought it was really important to bring this up because we can actually support them too, right? So we can go to helpukrainewin.org to support everything that's going on, in Ukraine, and we want to help donate. So we're going to have the links on the website. I think you were saying that they're partnering up with a Poland-based foundation.
Yeah, so I think they're going through, and they are either partnering or are splitting their business into Warsaw as well. So now they have connections with the EU. So they can go through and draw into a broader talent pool, and also have more business connections within the EU. Yeah.
Well, I love that, you guys. So let's support them. Anything that we can do. So it's, again, helpukrainewin.org. We'll also have the other links up. There's several different links for how we can donate and make a difference. And I think that's really, really important. Okay, so I have to ask you, what's the future of your app? I bet you've got plans.
I honestly, so this app was actually developed when I was in academia. And so like any academic, I wanted to go through and be able to go through and just create it because it solves a need. So we're still at that point now. We identified the need that people need to be able to have their pets' medical records on their smartphone app so they can manage it and not have to go through multiple different vets, relying upon vets to go through and transfer it. At the same time too, it's in a very efficient, very safe, protected format too. Much better than a manila folder. So
yes.
Just mainly going through and getting the word out about Mpet and getting people to be able to use it. I mean, it's put out there for people to use it.
Do you think you'll ever do telemedicine?
I don't, honestly, where I see telemedicine going in the veterinary community, I don't think it's going to be, there may be some people who feel comfortable using telemedicine, particularly for going through monitoring after surgeries.
Right.
Yeah. Or certain, for like oncology patients who become too fragile to go back and forth to the vet hospital. But I think at the end of the day, I think most people like that experience of going to the vet hospital,
yeah,
and interacting with the veterinarian and being able to have that connection, that relationship. So telemedicine, it kind of sterilizes that relationship. So I don't really think there's going to be from my perspective at least, I could be wrong, there may not be too much of a future for telemedicine within the veterinary community itself because people like that relationship, and then people like relationships.
Well, and I think too with COVID, going to the vet now, it was nuts.
Yeah.
You really want that, like you said, that experience going in, meeting the doctor, talking to them, and it really took away from that, and it was hard, I think, to communicate the same way.
It is.
So I agree with you on that side of it. Okay, so you also have some pretty amazing partners, like Chewy and Wag, right?
They're great. At the same time as Chewy too. Chewy, you can be able to go through and, it's just... it's Chewy. And
you can order anything.
Yeah, you can order anything, and at the same time too, they're a good resource to have. And then also with WAG too, it makes sense. These people are going through and walking dogs and house sitting dogs. You want to have the patient's medical records available to them. So having a partner like WAG has been essential.
I love that. Okay, so I have an entrepreneur question for you.
Yes.
Because we love to inspire the entrepreneurs out there, and you've got such a great background. You've done so many different things. So can you give us some advice to the aspiring entrepreneurs out there? Like maybe, I don't know, what was the best career advice you ever received?
So one of the most remarkable career advice I've ever received that really kind of hit home with me was from a veterinary professor. He started off with scripts, and so then after he was really well established at scripts, he went through and started teaching veterinary medicine and biology. And I was working on a pretty intense research project for being a vet student at the time. And he kind of looked at me, he's like, you know what? When you feel the anxiety, just work through it. Just work through it. Learn how to go through and manage and harness that anxiety. And instead of it being a barrier to you, just use that energy and just let it propel you forward. Learn how to work through the anxiety.
And you've done that, I'm assuming.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm sure you've had a lot of anxiety with everything
Yeah.
that you do.
And so when you feel that anxiety kind of bubbling up, like, I mean, you have to, if you can break it down and understand what anxiety actually is at its core and say, okay, is this going to be actually helpful for me, or is it something that's going to be like, okay, I'm feeling anxious right now. That's great. Good for you. Get over it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like sometimes it makes you get out of your comfort zone a little bit too.
It does.
Right? The things that give you anxiety, maybe it's something that you've never done before, right?
Yeah.
But then once you do it, I feel like you feel so much better.
And that's the reason why you have anxiety, because it's telling you you're getting out of your comfort zone. If you can go through and say, okay, is this a good thing for me to get out of my comfort zone? Maybe you should have anxiety if you're walking next to a cliff. You're like, this is not a safe place. But if you're like getting ready to like go through and launch your smartphone app and you're having anxiety, you're like, you know what, that's a good thing, and you're just looking at I hate to say it, but like an ancient instinct to say, okay, am I stepping out of my comfort zone? I don't know what to expect next. Go for it.
I agree. Get out of your comfort zone. It can kill you. I just posted that on Instagram. Your comfort zone can kill you. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You have given us so much great information, so many great resources. And if you guys have questions for Natalie, again, hit us up, DM us, go to the website. We can put you in touch. Get this app now. Download it today, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a lifesaver. I'm going to give you my experience too, because I'm going to download the app, get everything situated as well. So I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. It's going to make my life easier. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
So you guys, be safe out there. It's Easter weekend. I hope you guys have amazing Easter plans and you're safe here with family and friends. And we're going to close the show today with a sneak peek of our next week's all-new TV episode on Channel 4 at 4 p.m. We're so excited. We have a little inside look at our Fashion Fix segment, because it's all about fierce fashion here at the Pulse. We are with Sandra VM from Mariposa Style, Valerie Lee Ferrari, the owner of Chateau Bellage in Mission Hills. It's amazing, this place, you guys. You can shop by appointment only. It's like being a kid in a candy store. It's fabulous. So you got to check it out. And Sandra is fabulous at styling you. She can put together looks like you would not believe. So on this little sizzle of our segment, we're going to show you 3 looks that she put me in, and it's fabulous. So check this out and have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. Bye. Thank you.